There goes my daughter Ellie again. Looks like it's time for another lesson. All right, I'm standing here this time in front of what most people will just recognize as a dead tree. Environmental scientists and foresters call these things snags, and they're actually really important parts of an ecosystem. If you look at it, you'll see that there is a lot of activity here showing feeding by organisms called insectivores. An insectivore is an animal that eats insects. Most of the time, when you think about animals like that, you're talking about something like a woodpecker. And woodpeckers just love these snags or dead standing trees because they are full of decomposers. And some of the decomposers that we find are insects that are either calling this snag home or they are feeding off of it in some way. So it presents a great feeding opportunity for the woodpecker. Now, let's head up the trail a little bit. Let Belle lead the way. Let's go, Belle. And we get over here. This one's a little bit different. This is not a standing dead tree. This tree is live. In fact, it appears to be a red oak, one of our native oaks. What you see here is you see the same kind of activity that the woodpeckers are boring into the tree. And in this case, they're probably looking for insects. However, a slightly different strategy that woodpeckers use when they're talking about live trees, and I think this is a pretty nifty little strategy, they'll actually bore into a tree, and what they'll do is they'll get the sap to start flowing. And when the sap starts flowing, what winds up happening is insects come over. And when the insects get there, what they do is the woodpeckers come back and they gobble them up, which I think is kind of a cool little strategy. They create their own smorgasbord. And I don't know if you see it, but it appears as if someone might be feeding here or calling this home. I see some acorns that have been eaten. Lots of cool nature going on out here. Why don't you head out and see what you can find?